What's up, guys? And we are at our last interview of the day, not of the series, but of the day. And creating 2019 has been so amazing. We have been interviewing so many epic ladies, leaders of leaders, women who are really wearing their mission on their heart and are unstoppable, spreading their magic all around the world. And today, we are going live with the amazing, one of my soul sisters, Jaqui Rodriguez, Reiki master. I mean, there's so much I can say about Jaqui. Sound healing. She's just really been pouring herself into giving and creating sacred spaces for people to dive inward and do the inner work and get their meditation on. And she just, I call her my little fairy butterfly because there's so much to what she brings to those spaces. And we are just waiting for her to go live with me so I can pull her on the screen. What's up, Raquel, Daphne? So good to see you live, babe. Jessica, Gina, Malik, Ernesto. So many amazing people. So grateful to see you guys. So we are bringing on Reiki Master Jaqui Rodriguez. Here we go. And we are talking about the importance of learning to receive, the secret to abundance. How are you, Mama? And holy shit, is that a loaded question? Because a lot of us sabotage. I feel like abundance is all that we are. We are tapped into this infinite well of abundance and prosperity and freedom, and all of that is inside. Success is truly an inside game. And learning to receive, opening your arms to receive contextually in the mind and the soul is huge for some people. So for some reason, it does not say that I can bring you. Jaqui, can you send me a request to... You are on. Can you send me a request to go on live with me? Do you see like a green circle somewhere? We have had this issue before, but no worries, because if this is an issue, I will bring her on through Zoom. But let's see if she can request me. Let's see. Nope, I can't bring you on for some reason. Are you doing it from your phone, Jaqui? Can you get on your cell phone and hold the phone lateral? Not lateral, sideways. Let me know if that works. But yes, abundance is who we are. It's our birthright. It's everything that we are. And we are truly tapped in. We are truly tapped in. However, our thoughts, horizontal, thanks, Mama. However, our thoughts can somehow obstruct our experience, our receiving of the abundance that's already within. We can start thinking thoughts of scarcity, of lack, and hold it as truth, and then it starts being prophesized through our language when we start saying, there's not enough money, or I need to pay my bills. Like, if you're only speaking scarcity, then guess what? The universe hands you even more so that you can be right, because we are always prophesizing through our language. Here we go. Adding, crossing fingers. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Hopefully this works. All right, we're going to give it a minute. Adding. It's not coming on. Let's see. Connecting.
Hi. Sorry, I had a little bit of technical difficulties.
Do you have headsets?
I do. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
I am loving that Isabella artwork in the back.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone.
So I briefly
Can you hear me?
introduced you. Yes, loud and clear. Thank you. I briefly introduced you, but I want people to hear from you who you are, what you do, what you're about.
So, I am a Reiki practitioner, but for me, I feel that that's just the beginning of what I do. I kind of started using this word vibrational alchemist. And because I feel that my job is really to, or my essence is really to transmute energy and bring in light and love into every space that I'm in. So I don't know what that looks like, right, as a title, because I think that we're always figuring that out in our path and our way, right, and that also goes evolving. So what I do is that I heal people on an energetic level through my hands, through intuitively guiding them in whatever it is that they feel necessary, but more in their space of creating more space in their lives for whatever it is that they want. So whether that is having to transmute an experience that they had, or transmuting fear, or healing from love, I think it all kind of interconnects.
Beautiful. And I love the whole vibrational alchemist. You definitely I I resist titles as well, you know that. But
Yeah.
you forgot to say you're a Reiki master.
Yes, I'm a Reiki master. Yeah, it's been
um
a process. Like,
what were you gonna say? Sorry, I cut you off.
no, no, sorry, it's okay. It's there's a delay in the sound. So yeah, it's been a process, and I'm still figuring out myself, but I'm soon to be a Reiki teacher by the end of this month, hopefully. So I'll be able to also attune people. So I'm looking forward to that.
Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. So let's dive into this juicy topic of learning to receive. And I feel like that is the secret to experiencing, having, calling forth abundance.
Absolutely. So, as you know, and when we talked, it was when you asked like what was in my heart at the moment, and I was like learning to receive. And I've done a lot of personal development work, energy work on myself, and sometimes we start doing the work, and we're like, yeah, I want this and I want that, and it becomes this kind of playfulness creating. And then when we actually start to manifest it, I think, and I don't know if you can relate to this, but like for myself, I went through this process of like, oh, wait, this is way too much. Like, I don't know if, I'm ready for this. I don't know. And I think the underlying conversation that I was having within myself was, I don't know if I'm worthy of this, right? Although I had done the work to receive, the things that have been showing up in my life recently. Um, so yeah, so for me that's been a process and an awakening for myself, where I'm I'm really learning how to acknowledge myself more, so then I can receive the things that I have been working for, that I am deserving of, which sometimes, doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's such a beautiful place to start. Like, how worthy do you feel of the blessings that are coming your way? And how often does our worthy conversation, our self-worth conversation, start sabotaging what we're up to because oh yeah, and this was bringing up a great point that your earring is hitting the audio, the microphone on your
Oh,
headset,
this one, I guess.
the other one.
Okay.
Thanks, Ernesto. But how often, and I've experienced that myself, how often do we self sabotage just to prove right our own self worth conversations when things are going great? I know at times in the past when I was beginning my journey of self realization, I was like, this is too good to be true. Wait for it. you know? And just that thought alone will fucking create shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because I've not only been manifesting a lot of opportunities and partnerships and great things in my life, but also amazing people. And I'm like, wait, but you guys know that I'm like not perfect and I'm like all screwed up in all these ways, and you still love me? What? Wait, like, so it's been a process for me on learning how to receive abundance in so many ways, right? Because a lot of times people, when they think about abundance, they just think about financial abundance. And that's great. I'm open to all abundance in every form, in every way. But a lot of times, abundance also is in the way that we receive love and we receive acknowledgement, support, the way that we receive a compliment, right? That for a very long time, and even still now, I still struggle with receiving that, right? So I have to remind myself when I'm in those moments that, someone says something nice about me. I have to remind myself, like, yes, receive it. Not question it, not doubt it, because that brings me back into my wounded self.
Yeah. Yeah, this is such a great point. And I want you guys to give me hearts if you've ever been in this conversation of feeling like, wait, am I deserving of this? Is this really like, am I fit right for this? Do I fit the par for this? And a lot of times, and you and I have talked so many times about this offline, that we are given a seat at the table, but we're so busy serving and serving others that we forget to take our place at the table. And even if we do end up taking our place at the table, then we forget to fucking speak and own our place at the table and really like contribute to the conversation because we're so busy like enrolled in our smallness that we don't show up when the opportunity is given to us.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I think playing small for a very long time, you know, it's like this unspoken conditioning in a sense, right? Where you can't outshine other people or you can't talk about yourself too much because then you are XYZ, right? So it's also learning to be around the circles that nourish me, like yourself, of course, and other people where it's like I don't have to play small, I don't have to shrink, I don't have to continue to hide. If anything, being around people that want to move you forward and see you as your highest has been a big part of receiving as well. It's something that, although we do the work individually, I feel that it's a collective process because it also who you are around and how they hold you also affects that.
Absolutely. And Daphne says it's I think it's a cultural thing too, and I definitely agree. I feel like that's where a lot of the conditioning starts, right? Where we're taught to play small, we're taught to dim our light. Um and our environment absolutely shapes us. I'm so happy that you're bringing this to light. Our environment shapes us in so many ways. Um that we start to become a product of it, and we start to assimilate. And I really stress like, yo, put yourself in places where they are the environment is just oxygen to your fire. Because I've been in this conversation, I shared that with you last time we met up, that I go into like shining, and then when I feel like I'm not able to, like, there's this like friction with friends. I'm like, all right, I'll dim it back, right? And I'll go into this, but there's no healing in that because we're all meant to shine. And if we're constantly dimming our light to fit in and marginalize who we are, then we are basically doing like this to God and be like, no, I'm sorry, it's just too much for people, you know?
Yeah. And not only that, then we are being a disservice to the rest of the people that are waiting for us. And that's something that it took me a long time to realize. For a long time, I was all about kind of like, I'm doing this, and yes, and maybe I'm helping people. I don't know. But then I started to realize that my light is necessary, the same way that everyone else is in their own way, right? But it is necessary, and when I hide, I'm doing a disservice to the people that need to show up. And I think it was you that said something really beautiful around people waiting for us to show up, and how kind of like that is a domino effect. And it's true, and sometimes we don't realize how crucial we are to the collective in that sense.
Yeah, I really believe that our light is like a soul whistle where we're calling in the people that we're meant to serve, and we are activating. And it's not just like a one-way show, right? Because as everyone is activating, you're also being in that receiving of it, right? So we're all just here to really remind each other of who we really are, beyond the labels, beyond the bullshit, beyond the conditioning, the programming, the brainwashing, the all there's like thousands, not thousands, there's like billions of dollars being invested to freaking program you to think that you are not enough until you buy what they're selling, right? And this is like across the globe, and we really need to look into that what are we exposing ourselves to that is having a reflection on how we see ourselves.
Yeah, and it's chasing false happiness or false
Mm.
peace, that it exists outside of us. That everything exists outside of us, and even the way that we value ourselves exists outside of us, because in order to be valued, you must own XYZ, you must have certain experiences, you must be living in a certain place, you have to be perceived in a certain place. And it's coming to terms that none of that matters, and that you are already abundant and you have everything you need, and then utilizing those tools to really make the difference where you're meant to make the difference. And I think that that's where the impact is, right? In our interactions with each other, and we become abundant through those interactions.
I love that. So let's walk through it, the whole like learning to receive. Where do you feel like, what are the steps for any analytical brains? And I always say this to my speakers, like, let's break it down for people that are in the how. And I know that I used to live in the how. So how can we explain it to people on like, all right, these are some of the steps that you can try on to really expand your conversation about receiving?
So I think the first part is really getting clear on what you are good at. What are you natural at? Right? What are the things that you do that, maybe you don't see it as something that no one else does like you, right? I had to realize at the beginning, that I was just a person that was a nurturer naturally, that came to me naturally. And so I think that's the first part, is figuring out what are the things that you do naturally that they take little effort. The second one is making sure that you are constantly acknowledging yourself. And maybe what that could look like is, at the end of the day, acknowledge yourself for something that you did great that day. To start to break the pattern of always looking for guilt or blame, or, something that you did wrong. Because I think
I
it's so
love
easy
this
for us
one.
to always, yeah, I think it's so easy for us to always be on the lookout for what we did wrong or what we could have done better. And there's a lot of value in that. But I think that in order to be in a place of being able to receive, we have to do it for ourselves first, right? And
And
then energetically, everything else will follow.
absolutely. I really believe that we're only able to receive as much as we're willing to receive from ourselves. That's a
Yeah.
huge game changer for
Um,
me.
then I would say taking risks. And what I mean by risk is starting to take action towards whatever it is that that maybe scares you a little, and you may not feel fully prepared for. But taking risk, I think it's important, because then that's when the opportunities really align with you, energetically. And something I forgot to mention, even prior to taking steps, I think, is also creating space within yourself. Meditation was a big part of that for me. Being in nature was a very big part of that for me, where I just got the opportunity to really slow down, which is something that it's not in my nature to do, because I'm always on the move. And slowing down was a really big piece of creating for me, and then taking the actions. And then once you start taking the actions, it's really about being open to whatever is in alignment with you, and being okay with the things that are not in alignment with you, because not everything's going to be an open door, and then not getting stuck on those unopened doors, which I think it's something that a lot of us do. We get attached to what the outcome has to be and how it has to look like, and this was my plan, and it's being open to spirit kind of leading you, and having spirit have the plan, and you're just taking the action steps, and you're moving along. And it's like, if the door is closed right now, then it's a no, and just continue to move on and move forward until you find those other doors, or those other opportunities that are aligned with you.
I love that because I feel like when you start going back to the one of taking risk, this is when you start leaning on the edge, and this is when the universe starts expanding for you, right? When you start to move past that comfort zone. And then the one you just said about creating space is so important. Like, I think that, like you said, we become attached to how we want to receive abundance, right? We want to make $10,000 a month. And I've heard that from people that like aren't even making zero, right? That, and they just want to jump from 0 to 10. And that's awesome to have the goal, but don't be so attached that you're not present to the miracles right now, that you're not presencing the abundance you have right now, especially for the people that are at jobs that they don't like, or in situations or circumstances that they're resisting. Can you drop the resistance? Because from the resistance, nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to enter because you're so fixated on that door that you were talking about, right? But can you start presencing the miracles and the abundance right now, so that you can be in open space, so that you can open up space for the universe to continue showering more blessings upon you? What are some of the things
Yeah,
that you do,
and
babe,
God.
to start receiving? Because I know this has been like something that you've been working on, and you've been, you know, Jaqui is someone that I'm like, I've been so raving about this year, because Jaqui went from like January 2018 to December 2018, like full catapult, like full metamorphosis. And it's just been so beautiful to watch your journey as your friend, as your sister, just on the
Thank you.
sideline, to see you, what you're creating, and how many people are just like really flocking to your medicine. So what have you done? What are some of the steps that you've done? And I know you mentioned meditation and nature, but what are some of the action steps that you've created to start bringing in, calling forth that abundance in your life?
I would say that it's more energetic than actually doing. And I think for me, that was a big lesson, because we're taught that you have to have everything, like all the ducks have to be in a row, or, all these things. And I had to start trusting myself. And that's really where things started calling forth. I had to trust, not only trust myself, but see my ability to do things and not question it. So I had to get really comfortable with who I was and what I was able to do. And that took a while. But once I realized it, and of course, it starts externally, right? Receiving the validation and seeing the work. But once I started to see it and receive not only the validation, but the messages. And I think that's what it comes down to, too. When you are in a place that you are open and you don't question the messages that are coming in, you start to realize that they are coming from source, and there's something that is beyond you that is supporting you, right? If you are in this realm of work, or if you believe in spirit, right, you have assistance, but you have to get to a place where you feel within your self confidence, and see yourself the way that people that are supportive around you do see you. Because like, you've been a pivotal person in my life, and we've discussed this before, when it comes to seeing me, right? and kind of tugging me along. So I'm really appreciative of you and many other people that, I'm really blessed to have around me. But that wasn't enough, right? It took for me to see that.
Yes.
So it's really being in a place of being and realizing, like, yes, you are amazing. Yes, you do things for people that if you didn't exist, no one else can fill that space in the same way that you fill it.
I love that. I love that. Guys, this is so powerful. Really getting present to if you weren't here, there's a space, a uniqueness that would be missing to this grand masterpiece. I love that. What are what would you say to people that are in scarcity right now, experiencing scarcity, lack, resistance, maybe money's tight, maybe they're going through a situation where they don't see possibilities. What would you say to them?
I've been there many times, and it's interesting because when I started to trust that it was going to show up, and I started to ask Spirit for support, and it sounds like very woo woo, right? But it's like, okay, I trust and I ask Spirit, like, this is what I'm up to. I need your guidance, I need your support. If you pay attention, the right opportunities show up, the right people show up. So that's one part of it. The other part is also taking action on those things, right? So there's one part where, yes, Spirit is going to lend you a hand, but then what are you doing in order to give yourself a hand that then Spirit can take you farther, right? So, for example, if you're in need, if you're lacking resources right now, right? You're in a scarcity conversation. So what are the things that are your disposal that you have gifts for, you are able to do that can get you money, right? Start with the things you can do, not the things that are going to cost you money to create more. And start from that, right? What talents, what gifts do you have? And then utilize them. Start with your family and friends. And then once you gain confidence, maybe ask them for testimonials. And once you gain confidence, continue to explore and give those out in the world.
Beautiful. And I would also add to that, like, again, drop the resistance and start asking yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? What can I thank God for right now? And one of my prayers that I begin the morning with, I have like three prayers that I've meshed into one, but one aspect of it that really touches into the abundance is I thank God every morning. Thank you, God, for blessing me with way more than I deserve. And that just like presence that for me, like I take it to the children in Somalia, the children in Ghana that are like walking miles and miles and miles, getting raped, searching for water. And here I am, waking up in my beautiful bed with no concern. Thank God, right? So just by presencing the little things that you can be grateful for, you will start to magnetize even more blessings into your life. I love that you said that, babe. So we are moving into my last question that I ask all of my speakers. And I want to stress the fact that we are doing Metamorphosis again, a retreat in Dominican
Yes.
Republic on the weekend of November 11th from Thursday to Monday. That's a holiday weekend for people. That's Veterans Day weekend. Make it a point to be there. This retreat will completely alter your life. And I lived it. My life has never been the same, even as a facilitator.
Agreed. Me too. It totally life changing. Totally.
So buckle your seatbelts. You are in for a ride. My last question that I ask all of our speakers, babe, is what are your top 2 to 3 tips on creating an epic year?
I would say taking risks for sure, even if you don't feel ready. I don't think we ever feel ready. And even me being on a live, right? You know how I feel about lives. It's something that I'm working on, right? So this
But
is
didn't she do
risky
so
for me.
great? Can we please acknowledge her? Right in the comments, Jackie, you are fucking amazing. So
Thank
awesome.
you. Um, So taking risk, doing your best, and acknowledging that you're always doing your best. And I would say the last one is take a break when necessary. I know it sounds counterintuitive and we resist the breaks sometimes, but sometimes the breaks will actually propel us farther than when we are kind of cranking away without any energy. We need to refill our energy, refill our space. So take a break. Like, don't be rushed by who others need you to be or how others need you to show up. Show up in your own way and just trust that.
Yes. Guys, learning to receive is huge to experience abundance, calling in abundance. We are always tapped in and we are the only one in the way. I love Jackie's tips. I want us to recap them one more time. So, taking risks. She is the queen of risks, by the way. She will network a room like nobody's business. I'm like still on person 2, and she's like, she's already covered the whole room. I'm like, damn, okay. So taking risks.
See, but that's not risky for me.
What? See, I like that. That's where I'm.
Yeah, that's not risky for me. Yeah. Risky for me is being on this live. I'm like, oh man.
So taking risk, and the second one was.
um, Acknowledge that you're always doing your best.
Acknowledge that you're always doing your best. Acknowledge
Yep.
yourself. Huge.
And taking breaks when necessary.
And taking breaks when necessary. And I think that one is like the one that stands out for me, because sometimes we can get so caught up in the doing, and our body is like asking us to just stop. And the moment we stop, believe it or not, like when I stop and I go to nature, like so many ideas come flowing, so many solutions and possibilities, because I'm just in that resting, receiving mode, right? It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I think when we stop or slow down, it's that opportunity to receive, and all the downloads come and all the messages just really kind of become more finalized in that space.
Which we got to talk offline about our camping schedule, because Jackie had me buy
Yes.
all these camping gear. I'm like, all right, I got to like camp every weekend now this summer to make it worthwhile. Thank you so
For
much,
sure.
babes. Now, where can people find
Thank you for this opportunity.
Where can people find you? How can they get like online Reiki sessions, in-person Reiki sessions? I know you have weekly classes in several different spots, so please share. How can they connect with you?
Yep. So my website is my name, JaquiRodriguez.com. I am more active on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Jaqui A. Rodriguez or Wave of Healing. And weekly, I am in Ridgewood, Queens / Bushwick, Brooklyn. It's very close, at Flower Power Coffee Shop. I do monthly workshops at Long Island City at Sacred Waters. And then there's this new location that's going to be coming to LIC soon that I'll be announcing. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll stay updated with all the events and the metamorphoses. You definitely don't want to miss that.
And you have a workshop coming up. Can you talk to us about that really quick? The trifecta.
I do, yeah. Yeah, so on January 26th, me and Mario, who is a personal trainer and evolving human, as he calls himself, we are doing a workshop together where you're going to get clear on your intentions for the year. We're going to do some experiences on intention, in addition to a group fitness workout and meditation and Reiki session. And it's going to be great. There's going to be food included. It's going to be a lot of fun. I would love if you come out, and it's in Long Island City.
Beautiful, beautiful. We'll put all the links in the comments, right, Jackie? If you have the links, we'll put them in the comments. On the replay email, you'll see her website. You'll see her offers in her website. Please connect to her. I've been at her weekly Ridgewood events, and they're amazing. They're truly amazing, and such a gift to give to yourself. It's 1 hour of your time once a week. It is so awesome. And if you want some extra healing from this vibrational alchemist, definitely reach out. Her Reiki is amazing. It's truly unique, and it's something to truly experience.
Yep.
Thank you so much,
everyone
Mama.
gets...
Yes.
Go ahead. Oh,
Everyone
everyone
gets?
gets 15% off with creating 2019 for any Reiki sessions. So yeah, so
Nice.
just put in creating 19, and then you'll get the discount.
Beautiful. So just use Creating 2019. I'm going to be sure to put that in the email as well, but I'll say it in the group as well. You get 15 or 10%? 15 or 10?
15. 15.
15% off her Reiki, which is amazing. Seriously, it's a beautiful healing experience. Thank you so much, Mama. I love you, and I'm so
I
grateful
love
that
you
you
too. Thank you.
said yes to this. You didn't die. You did
Thanks so much.
amazing.
I didn't
And it was
die.
so
Thank you so
powerful.
much. I appreciate you. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much, guys. This was our last interview of the day. Make sure you register to Creating Your 2019 so you get these freebies, these offers from our speakers. And let us know what is your biggest takeaway. Join the Facebook. A lot of people have been sharing in there. It's been an amazing community. I can't thank you guys enough for joining me on this ride. Tomorrow we have another guest, and Friday we have a special surprise guest. So it's going to be amazing. Have a beautiful night, and I will see you tomorrow morning.